blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry, one artist at a time.
Hey folks, Michael Bate from the Michael Bate Band, coming to you from Blast Music 247's Blaster Rock and Metal Podcast, episode number 10. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have broken double digits. So excited for tonight's show on Blast Music 247. We are going to talk to a band, and I'm embarrassed to say I did not know this band before prepping for this interview, but boy, am I excited that I finally got to know this band. They absolutely rock. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Avalon Stone.
Hey, guys.
Hey, my friend. Please tell me you're doing well. Where are you?
Yeah, doing well. Just outside of Toronto, Actually, I was going to say braving the cold, but it's really nice out right now, which is amazing. So hopefully that sticks.
Yeah, I hear. I'm in Philly area, and it's like 80 degrees or something. It's a little bit strange. I mean, I love fall. I imagine most people love fall. This is weird right now, but hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Well, I'm so glad we finally got to do this. This is going to be fantastic. We're going to hang out, chat some music. I'm going to set the stage a little bit, both for you and for the audience. What I like to do is start out by maybe taking a little trip in that Wayback Machine and kind of talking about where you've been, what you've seen, that kind of stuff. And then we'll come right back here to the present, talk about what is going on with the band right now. And then the fun part, we put that thing into fifth gear, we move into the future and talk about what's next for Avalon Stone. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds exciting.
Awesome. So, first of all, tell everyone, where are you from?
So I'm from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, I've been living here my whole life, just outside of Toronto. There's a great scene here. Actually, it's where I first got my start, was here in our blues scene that we have here. So yeah, I started in blues. But even before that, I went to a place called School of Rock. And so I started there. And actually the first song I ever sang live in front of an audience was Cochise by Audioslave. So boom. Yeah, right off the bat.
What?
Right off the bat. Audioslave, hard rock, grunge. Chris Cornell's been like my idol ever since. And yeah, so that's where I started, and I've been doing this for a little over a decade now. Just turned 21 last week.
Yeah, a decade. Now, ladies and gentlemen, obviously you could tell she's a young woman, but a decade. So tell everyone when you first got on stage.
Yeah, so I was 10, yeah.
10 years old. I was riding my bike and fishing at 10, not performing on stages, no.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Honestly, it was a total fluke that I started doing music. It was like my parents forgot to book me for a week of summer camp when I was 10, and then there was this opening for a songwriting camp, and they were like, that's the only camp that's open right now. So we're going to send her there. And so then I went, and I loved it. I loved it. I never knew that I liked music or songwriting before that moment. And then I just found myself, because the instructors were always like, does anyone have an idea for this next part? And I'd always be like, like so eager. I mean, I was always a good student, but that was my.
So I'm a parent, obviously. So your parents, maybe their laziness turned out to be this incredible, moment for you. So let me ask you this. Let's get right into it, right? Let's start from the beginning, right? We talked about going into that Wayback Machine. So, you're a songwriter. you know that songwriting, we've heard, is the sound of emotion. A lot of artists will say that songwriting is open heart surgery because you're allowing people to, into your mind, body, and soul for a period of time.
Yeah.
What does a 10-year-old have to say? Do you remember your first song that you wrote? What did a 10-year-old have to say?
It was called Poisonous Apples.
Okay.
Yeah, it was about a poisonous apple.
Fair enough.
That's it.
It's literal. That's okay. No metaphor. It's literal.
Yeah, that's what it was about. And, that makes sense. I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what am I going to write about? Like heartbreak?
Yeah.
It was about like Isaac Newton and like his apple falling from a tree thing. Yeah. And like, then it was poisonous. I was like, oh my God, it's poisonous. I remember that. And then just like a bunch of goofy songs like about eating snacks at midnight and like
well, that's what a 10-year-old would sing about.
Exactly. It's like I was sneaking out of my room and grabbing a snack, and I wanted to write a song about that because I thought I was so cool and rebellious.
Of course. Hey, raiding the fridge at midnight. What 10-year-old's up at midnight? That is so badass. Of course it is.
I know, right? I know. So that's when this whole thing started. Was my rebelliousness started at the kitchen snacks for sure.
Wow. Okay, so you're 10 years old now. You go to a songwriting camp, right? Which was, I guess, by mistake, but it fit because 11 years later, I believe you've been on like 300 stages or something like that, 300 shows. Like that. Obviously, it worked. So, do you remember at that young age? Do you remember the first time you heard a song? And I should say listen to a song. I mean, hearing music's one thing, but listening to music, maybe getting a message or maybe really understanding the words and that message behind it. Do you remember the first time that ever happened to you?
See, I always feel so strange when I get asked this question because I really didn't care about music until I started singing it at all. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's interesting to me because I think I wasn't exposed to it. I remember hearing like specific parts and being like, whoa, like what is this? I thought music was cool, but I never really appreciated it until I think I really learned what went into it. And like how challenging it is to make music and how like it literally consumes your whole like soul when you write it. You know what I mean? And it's like that's how huge it is. And I don't think I really put that together. I mean, I was like 10, right? So I was like, oh, this is fun. It's fun to sing on stage and blah, blah, blah. And then I started singing blues. And I think that's when it really clicked for me. It was like, oh, this is music that actually makes me feel something.
Yeah.
'Cause I was singing like hard hitting rock, but I wasn't like getting that soul piece.
Yeah.
It was more like just sing the song. But once I started playing blues and learning how to improvise and learning musicality because I picked up bass and then I picked up guitar and that is what really I think made me fall in love with music was like blues. And then I kind of applied that love and that feeling to the stuff that I continued to do. So I've always been a lover of like rock ballads and things like that because they have that soul element in it, that I just die for. But yeah.
Okay.
But I also love how powerful rock makes me feel. So
So okay, we started out in the blues. So do you have any favorite blues artists that even today or then or whatever? Do you have any favorite blues artists?
I don't know if I have any. Like mostly it's songs.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I mean,
started out in the blues. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were a big influence for me for a long time because I sang their rock music and I also sang their blues music. So stuff like Since I've Been Loving You, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, or like Dazed and Confused is kind of bluesy a little bit too. Things like that were really, really powerful for me. And I don't know. I did. I can't even remember. I've sang so many blues songs at this point. They were all like 10 years ago. So,
of course.
But just, God, there's so many great things.
Oh yeah, I agree. And talk about, the sound of emotion. I mean, you could argue that blues, I mean, there's nothing more emotional than a blues song. I mean, back in the early days, people were lamenting about the strife of life and how difficult hardship was, and talk about the sound of emotion. If you're going to introduce yourself to music, I guess that's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I honestly think that every young artist should be introduced to blues, or at least soul or R&B, to be like, this is the soul that should be behind songs and music in general. And then, like, I feel like it really built a solid foundation for me to kind of understand how important and how emotive music should be. Because that's important to me, and it made me realize that obviously it's not important to everyone, and music can be fun, and music can be uplifting, and music can be, anything you want it to be. But for me, it's definitely something to communicate and to express.
Okay.
So the R&B and the blues really, like, it solidified like a good foundation for that. I feel like, which then all of my rock inspirations and my grunge inspirations then allowed me to take that and turn it into a different style.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to read something from your website. So we talked about the blues, right, which is a great way to start, right? But then I saw some of your musical influences, which are some of my favorite bands of all time, the Pumpkins. Oh, I'm so happy you mentioned the Pumpkins and how it's changed. So I read this on your website. I'm reading from my phone. Avalon Stone, igniting the stage with grunge-infused alt-rock magic. I'm not sure what that is, but I can't wait to see that. And I have seen that in some of your videos and songs. So when did the blues transfer into grunge-infused alt-rock magic? I love that.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, like, it was honestly like it was a foundation, right? And then I continued on, and I was in a cover band for a while. So I think this is the transition. So I was in a cover band for a while, 5 years, I think. Just like a local cover band. We played a few festivals around, that kind of thing, mostly bar gigs. And being in a cover band helped me kind of understand what music I connected with, because I was playing other people's songs, and I was like, what do I like from this song? Why do I like it? Why do I feel connected to this song rather than this song? I hate playing this song. Why do I hate playing this song?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing. And then like I felt myself wanting to go heavier with our songwriting, because we would write some songs sometimes, and I would want to go really heavy with it. And that just didn't mesh with some of the band players. So eventually we ended up splitting because we went different ways, because we were all super different musically. But I think it was really interesting because I really learned that I felt powerful singing rock music, and I felt like there was just this energy channel during that kind of thing. And I love the blues too. I love that kind of thing, but I don't know. I just love heavy rock. Yeah. And then afterwards I started writing after my band and I broke up, and I was directionless. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I liked a bunch of different kinds of stuff, like singer-songwriter type stuff, blues, rock and roll, blah, blah, blah. And then I was writing songs, and, I sent it in to people. I was like, what is this? Like, what am I writing right now? Because it was just music to me. Like, it was just me and the acoustic guitar. And I was like, what is happening? It doesn't feel like it fits into any of the genres that I had been spending my time doing, which was like classic rock, kind of like soft rock, kind of like blues, kind of singer-songwriter stuff. I was like, where am I? And people were kind of coming back to me like, oh, this kind of sounds like Nirvana. This kind of sounds like Hole. This kind of sounds like Smashing Pumpkins. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. And then it just kind of clicked in my brain. And what's interesting is because I hadn't really listened to any of those bands, because I think at this point I was like 17, 18.
Yeah.
And you know, what kind of 17, 18-year-old listens to those bands? You know what I mean? Not a lot. Not a lot. It's great if you do. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't exposed to it.
Yep.
So then I started listening to those bands and I was like, this is what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
This mixed with my own sound, mixed with like other bands that I like. Because I like a lot of modern rock too.
Yeah.
Like I'm really loving The Warning right now. Loving that stuff. But just a bunch of modern rock. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Now I have like a toolbox of things that I like.
No, I get that. And, you know, for me, some of the bands you mentioned, I'm going to age myself a little bit, but I went to college during the grunge years. So I was in college from 88 to 93. Grunge didn't really start until about 89, 90. But like that was my college years. I mean, it was a really, really fun time to be in school when this whole new musical genre was being created. And you had mentioned the Pumpkins. So do you have a favorite Pumpkins, you know, song or album? Or for me, you talked about heavy, Gish. I mean, when I heard Gish in 1991, I was 22 or whatever.
Yeah.
It blew my mind how raw and rough and powerful that was from Billy and the boys. So and the gang. So do you have a favorite Pumpkin song?
I'm biased because we play Bullet with Butterfly Wings live.
Yeah.
And I love doing it. It's like one of my favorite cover songs that I've ever played in my life. So probably that one. Just the lyrics, the energy. And it's funny because before I played it live, before I was like, hey guys, you know, let's do this.
Yeah.
This cover because, you know, my guys, I love them. And they were like, okay. And then I was like, it should be easy. Sounds easy enough.
Nope.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
very
so
musical.
changes in
Very
that
musical.
song.
Yeah.
So it helped me like really appreciate the song because I was like, how did they write this? You know what I mean? Like, this is amazing. So I think because I played it,
That one.
Yeah.
No, I can buy that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, you know what? It's been so much fun right now talking about some of your musical influences, but guess what? We want to hear some of your music. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Cliffhanger by Avalon Stone.
You step toward me, I'll take another one back. Can't see the water below, but I hear the waves crash. Broken by battle, bruised to the bone.
Oh, hell yes. Well, my friend, you chose your genre or style wisely because that was fantastic. So now, was that you hanging there the whole time? Did you really hang there that whole time? Was that you?
No, God, I do not have the grip strength for that.
So that's your latest release, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
tell me all about that song.
Actually, it's really interesting because that song was written a little over a year ago in the mountains of Spain, in Malaga, and yeah, I was up there with a few songwriters, and yeah, this we were put in me and this guy named Miles and Molly, we decided to write a song, and this is what came out of it. And honestly, we were on a time crunch, so we had to do it fast, and so we were like looking through our notes apps, because every single songwriter ever has like a billion ideas in their notes apps, and
million in this thing.
Yeah, just like in their notes, So we were all like scrolling through, and then Miles was like, I have this really cool idea called Cliffhanger. I was like, me and Molly were like, yes, like, that's it. That's the one. That's what we're writing. So we did. And we kind of didn't know where to take it. We just kind of started sharing stories, and then I was sharing mine, and I was like, this is how like I perceive that title personally, because I had just gotten out of a relationship that wasn't the best, which is what a few of my songs are about. But yeah, so I started explaining the story where it's like, yeah, I mean, you're on a cliff of like this uncertain thing where it's like, do you let go of this person or situation, or do you hope for the best and hang on to it, because actually the first thing we wrote was Cliffhanger, waiting for the fall, do I let go or hang on? And then I was like, this is how I perceive that. So, and then everyone was like, yeah, that's a great story. I think we should really run with that. And we just ended up having this really, like, there was so much synergy in the writing room where we were just like, at one point, we all started by sitting, but at one point we all like stood up.
Yeah,
because
excited.
we were so excited. We were like, oh my God. And then we all like rose, I just remember like figuring out the one line, a rose without petals only has thorns. We were trying to figure out how to say that. And we were all like throwing out ideas. And then I remember starting that by sitting down. And then by the end of it, when we like all basically said the line at the same time, I was like, we're all standing. How did we get here? But we were all really excited about it, which is, I think, just amazing. And then I came back and I took the song to my band because I was really excited about it. I was like, guys, I wrote something. And then I played it for them, and then we turned it into what you hear now. So yeah, that's kind of the story behind that song.
Right on. Were you up in the Pyrenees? I spent some time in the Pyrenees up in Spain. Pyrenees Mountains, yeah.
It was called Malaga. I don't know Spain that well.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. I spent some time up that way. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. So why were you in Spain with two other songwriters? Like how'd that turn out?
We were actually a group of us. It was like this meetup that we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Spain?
In Spain, in the mountains in Spain. Yeah, it was awesome.
Not like at the Starbucks down the road. You guys went to the mountains of Spain.
No, because we were all from different places.
Okay.
And so it was like a meetup. There was like an organization and
Okay. That's not a bad place to meet. Okay. Phenomenal. All right. So you did mention that you wrote that song. We talked a little bit about kind of how you grew up and some of your influences and where you came from. So now let's maybe get into the world of the band, obviously. Obviously, the band name is your name, right? Yeah. So when did the band come in, and how does all that work? Who plays what? Tell me about the band members.
Okay, yeah, my favorite topic. So on guitar is Caleb Bourgeois. He's been with me basically since the project started. I met him at an open mic, actually, in Kitchener. that I like to go to because it's a community event, and he was playing these blues songs and everything, and I walked up to him and I was like, have you ever thought about playing rock and roll? And he was like, and he immediately gave me this like sales pitch. He's like, I can play whatever you want me to play, blah blah blah, I'm up for it, I love rock and roll, blah blah blah. And I was like, sweet, awesome, cool, let's just do it then. So that was really easy.
That's easy, yeah.
Like before I even wrote a song, I had a guitar player basically. So, well, I've been writing, but not like.
Yeah.
So that was great. Tyler Shea is on drums, and he was actually in my last band. And he started the band with somebody else, but that unfortunately didn't work out. But yeah. So Tyler, he plays drums. He's actually a country drummer. He plays a bunch of country places around, but he likes to play some rock and roll too sometimes because I make him. Yeah. And our bassist is Donovan McKinley, who I've known since I was like 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he's like a bass player in the community for blues. So it's really interesting because like, whoa, just a bunch of different kind of styles and everything. Kind of, they're all in other projects too. They keep very busy, but this is the kind of thing where they like to rock out. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's really awesome. We've been a band together for over a year. Which is awesome. And honestly, I feel so lucky that I have such great guys to share my music with and share the stage with, and also probably in the future, smelly tour vans and buses with.
It's gonna happen.
Hopefully.
Oh, we'll get there. Oh, we're going to talk about your future. We're going to get there. I hope. Yes. So tell me about the band dynamics. It sounds like, what can I say? You're the main songwriter. Is that the idea? Or do other guys maybe put things in?
Yeah. So it's how it's worked so far is it's mainly like it's my name. So it's mainly my stories, mainly my songs, which they help bring to life. They basically help to bring everything to life, like all my concepts, all my ideas, all my songs.
Of course.
And then, like I also spend the time on like the business side, doing all the business stuff. And I'm like the voice, which is great. But I'm actually hoping to get them more involved in songwriting and stuff like that. Because they're awesome. Yeah,
no, absolutely. So, as a songwriter, I have my process, right, of writing songs, which is a complete wreck. But I'm always interested. Do you have a process? Like, where does inspiration come, or is it just a complete wreck for you as well?
It is a wreck. Yeah. It is a wreck for me as well. Yeah. I'm really trying to make it not be a wreck. Yeah. Actually, literally the last week, I've been like, Avalon, just write something. Yeah.
I wish it worked that way. I'm going to write something.
I'm willing myself to do it. And then, I'm trying to figure out what kind of works for me. A lot of the times there will be inspiration, and then I can grab a hold of that and be like, I'm going to do something with this. Yeah. But the way that I would like to continue is being more mindful and more skillful in what my approach, more like treating it like it's something that I should be doing every day kind of thing. Because I think it's really important, and I love to do it. So it's a wreck.
I always use the hashtag music is my therapy, because for me it's just writing is just how I keep sane in this world, and it seems like a lot of people kind of agree with that. So when you write, I mean, do you think about song structure? Like, you've seen all the different pictures of verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus. There's all those structures which are there for a reason, and I tend to write that way, to be honest. Do you follow that at all? Do you care about structure, or do you just write?
I care about structure, but more than structure, I care about techniques. I would say, like what's going to grab a listener's attention. I think structure can kind of it can kind of ebb and flow out of the norm a little bit. Like it can kind of go to the side here, kind of go to the side here, as long as it's captivating. I think that's the most important thing, is like, how is the listener going to hear this and how are they going to perceive it? Like, is this going to catch in their head? Is this going to add anything to the song? If not, why do it? Is this going to, this section going to make a point? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of this? So, yeah, I like to follow structure to an extent. Like, I don't think that songwriting should be limited at all. I think it should have guidance. And I think it should have like, I mean, they're there for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, they make like these rules make sense in a lot of ways. But I think it's important to also listen to what the song wants. Yeah. Because that is the most important thing in general. So rather than like what a radio wants or whatever.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess I pay attention to it because I want to make sure my songs have dynamics, but I completely hear you can't get lost in structure or else maybe there won't be any dynamics. I completely understand that. And what's great about talking about songwriting with you is, guess what? We are going to listen to another one of your songs. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present Shaking Me Up by Avalon Stone.
Is this how you get your point across? It's getting late and her eyes are lost. Towering over me, my control is lost. Now I'll give in to my thoughts. Your words are bullets and tears are mine. And this happens every time. Your throat starts to hurt and my cheeks shine. And when you yell, you are shaking me up, waking me up, breaking me up. You're shaking me up, shaking me up, waking me up. You're breaking me up, you're shaking me up. No sense in putting a face to the cause, 'cause honey, we've both got our flaws. When you get loud, I'll bring out my claws. Our egos just ain't worth the cost. Your words are bullets and tears are mine. And this happens every time. Your throat starts to hurt and my cheeks shine. And when you yell, you are shaking me up, waking me up, breaking me up. You're shaking me up, shaking me up, waking me up. You're breaking me up, you're shaking me up. You're shaking me up. Yeah, yeah. Your words are bullets and tears are mine. And it happens every time. Your throat starts to hurt and my cheeks shine. And when you yell, you are shaking me up, waking me up, breaking me up. You're shaking me up, shaking me up, waking me up. You're breaking me up, you're shaking me up, shaking me up, waking me up, breaking me up. You're shaking me up, yeah, you're shaking me up.
Oh, hell yes. I'm going to tell you, That's the video that would introduce like who the band is. I absolutely love that video. I love the quick cuts. I love the vibe. Was that all green screen?
No, that was just behind a white screen or in front of a white.
I love the simplicity of that, the black with the white, but the performance, that is a fantastic performance as well as a fantastic song. So tell me all about that song.
Yeah, so that one is kind of about the same thing as the last one, except it's being in it. So I like to think of cliffhangers being an extension of this song, kind of like the next piece of the story. So this one is about being in a relationship where it's about two people who amplify each other's worst traits, which is anger and sadness, and saying like, this is just obviously not good, and I don't like it when you yell at me. So and just kind of the effects that a situation like that can have on a person, and the anger behind being mistreated, and because knowing what you're worth is super important, and knowing what you deserve is super important also, and kind of being like, not going to take this anymore kind of thing. It was kind of that just automatic, that it's that first taste of like, this isn't good for me. So that's what that song's about.
Okay. So obviously, I mentioned before, I'm a little bit older than you, a couple years. So I grew up in the Like It or Love It, the MTV generation. I mean, that was 1985. Was it 85? 86? I mean, I was a sophomore in high school. I mean, I was the MTV generation with the videos, and it was amazing back then because you never really saw anybody. There was no internet. So like when someone had a video or a magazine, that's the only time you ever saw anybody.
Right.
So the fact that you just did a full video, that was not a reel, that was not a short, that was a full however many minute video, which is somewhat rare, I guess, today. So what was the thought behind doing like a real video for a young person like you? Because apparently you guys don't like videos.
I like them. I like them. I was tentative because I was like,
it's different.
Yeah, it is different. I honestly, for me, my main thing is I don't like creating content. I like, it just feels so like lottery gambling.
Yeah, you never know.
And I like telling a story, right? So that's why I like the extended version of a video, because I can say like, here's the whole picture. You know what I mean? This is for the whole song. I don't have to make the first 15 seconds interesting, which obviously can be done, but it's actually we just we finished filming another music video for my next single coming out, which I'm extremely excited about. I think you might like the music video for this one. I don't know, because I like having fun with it, and also I feel like it really takes the song to another level of understanding, because you can like see the passion behind it, and you can kind of you can enter a world where more than just one of your senses is occupied by it, right? Like when you listen to a song, it's just your ears listening to it. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you can kind of pick up other things and you can kind of sense other things, but they're not actually there. So when you look at a music video and you hear it, it's like, okay, that's a much easier connection. You know what I mean? It makes you feel more like, I won't say consumed, but like more interested, more involved, more like enthralled by it, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's it's a big time commitment and cost, of course, and you got to gamble if it's worth it. But I would tell you that video was fantastic. Obviously, at some point I'll see your next one. But so when it comes to like video production, and did you guys was there a director that just kind of told you, look, just play, I'm just going to film you, or was there anything kind of predetermined, anything like that?
Nothing predetermined, rather than like wardrobe and location. So Jeff Nedza, he's the one that directed it, and Ryan Brow filmed it.
Okay.
His whole thing is Zebra Media, and they were both amazing. We used them again for this upcoming video. Honestly, it was just like, it was super, because usually I have to direct my own stuff and I hate it. So it was really nice to be like, you know, do this at this point, do this at this point. I was like, all right, you know, I can do that. All I have to do is sing and like move around a little bit. So, you know, honestly, working with them just made the whole thing so painless. And I think that's part of why I wanted to do another music video so bad again, because it was like, it was so, it was just such a great working experience, and it came out with a great result. And we found out a way to do it that didn't completely empty my wallet. So, you know, pretty good.
No, I mean, it's such a quality production. I mean, I of course there's a cost and time, but whatever that was, quality production, 100%. So well done. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, you and the band and the Toronto music scene. So tell us about, what's the scene like? I mean, any favorite places that you play? What's it like?
Favorite place? Well, we just opened up for The Beaches and JJ Wild and Soft Cult in Cambridge. So that's kind of near Toronto, as well. And that was amazing. That was a really great time. That was probably our favorite show that we've played so far.
Right on.
Just because we know people in the other bands, and it was honestly like a really, really great time. Big audience, great venue. So that was really fun. A lot of the times when we play Toronto, they're like dingy, kind of like underground bars, which is a vibe. Like, I love it. I love it, 'cause I'm like, okay, let's get sweaty. Let's get, you know, into it. And that's really fun. Actually, in 2 days, on Friday, the 25th, my band and I are playing a show at the El Macombo, which, if you don't know, if you're not Toronto bound, is that's like the most legendary venue there. Like Led Zeppelin played there, like Pink, like everyone played there. Like everyone played there.
Oh my goodness! In 2 days, 48 hours, you're going to play that.
48 hours, probably a little more than 48 hours. Probably like
whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
Or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, super excited about that. We've never played there before. We are super stoked. And it's a Halloween show, so we get to dress up and we get to have fun.
Oh
and,
my goodness!
Yeah, it's one of my good friends' birthdays that day, so
right on.
See them after, and it's going to be a great day. I'm super excited.
Oh my goodness, so. As far as like the local Toronto scene, obviously you're kind of plugged in. Have you guys what's the next step? Do you want to travel to another area? Is there another city? Is there somewhere else? You had mentioned LA earlier a little bit.
Yeah. So I love Canada. I think it's great. It's really hard to make a living touring here because everything is so spread apart. So I would love to tour Europe, and I would love to tour the States. That's like that's what I would like to do. That's why I've been spending more time down there, which is awesome. And yeah, I would honestly, I would love, my next thing that I would love to do is tour like Northern Europe, like Norway, Sweden, kind of like Germany area, kind of like Amsterdam, those kind of places, you know, like I feel like it would be really, really fun. And I just love it over there. So.
Yeah, you hit a couple of my favorite places as well. I love Europe. Playing in Europe, that's got to be a whole nother just avenue of challenges, but so much fun. I mean, I think American music is very well received over in Europe. That would be one heck of a thing to do. I wish that for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, as a Canadian, it's easier to tour Europe than it is to tour the States.
I could believe that. Matter of fact, I think one of my favorite musicians, you might know this artist. It's female fronted, hard rock band. Her name's Hannah Wickland.
I've heard of her.
Yeah, she just toured Europe. Yeah, Hannah Wickland. You'd be into her sound, kind of similar to what you're doing. She just toured Europe, and I got to see a lot of her different places, and it looked like a blast. But sometimes there's language barriers and country barriers. It's a lot of very, very different place to go, I guess. But it looked like
yeah, it's just so much easier to get into than America. You guys don't like us coming into your country.
Greatest bands ever. Neil Young. You gave us Rush. Joni Mitchell.
It's true. There's a lot of really good Canadian stuff coming out right now. Actually, like I don't know if you know Broken Love or Cleopatra or Villavant, Big Wreck, bunch of people like that.
Big Wreck? That's one of my favorite bands.
I opened up for them last year.
What?
Yeah.
If you look at my Spotify, I think I've liked 49 of their songs, or it tells you how many songs you like from band. I love Big Wreck.
So good, honestly.
I know them down here very well.
No, because they're so like Canada focused.
Oh my goodness, you opened. Do you know the Tea Party?
Yeah.
Jeff Martin, the Tea Party. Oh, one of my favorite Canadian bands. I don't think they're together still. I'm not sure.
I think they are. Yeah, they are.
Jeff Martin and the Tea Party. Yeah.
Yeah,
no kidding. Oh, right on.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of stuff going for us up here.
Oh, right on. So you think all the boys would want to take over to Europe, or would you have to find a local band over there to back you?
No, they're itching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're like, let's go. I want to get on the road. I'm like, yes.
Oh my! So that may be the time, maybe when you have the sweaty van or the stinky van you're talking about.
Exactly.
Rent the Sprinter van over there in Amsterdam.
Yeah. I mean, a band of boys. Like what else is gonna happen?
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. I wish that for you, but you know what I really wish right now? I wish we could hear another one of your songs. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present Forget You from Avalon Stone.
You're so much better. Something's telling me
just another absolutely kick-ass song. So my gut tells me that this is the part where you did not hold on. You actually let go and forget you. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, this song was written before, and well, I think this is the third song I ever wrote for the project, but it was before Shaking Me Up and Cliffhanger. Oh. And it was the first song that I was really sure about. I was like, yeah, this is the one. So it's actually about a whole other situation.
Oh my goodness. I thought that was like a trilogy. Now I
wish it was.
Okay.
No. So yeah, so that one is honestly, that one is kind of more of a generalized feeling of being kind of in a relationship where you feel like unvalued and disrespected, and then it's like, okay, now it's over. Yeah, okay. And just being really upset, classic breakup song, but wanted to come out, and that was our debut single, and wanted to come right out of the gate with a song that just kind of went like, and hit people in the face, which is what
it did. And vocally, you stretched that. Vocally, you stretched your vocals on that one. You let those fly a little bit. It reminded me of a band. You know a band named Plush?
No, I actually, somebody else was telling me about a band called Plush.
You should. You should. Because that song very much was like a Plush song. Very, very much. And if you ever listen to them, you'll hear it. Really dug your vocals on that one. You really stretched on that one. Yeah.
Thank you.
I dig that one. Yeah, right on. So now here's the fun part. We're going to put this sucker into fifth gear, right? We're going to go on into the future a little bit. And then, a couple minutes after that, we'll probably land the plane, land the vehicle a little bit. So tell your audience, your fans, what is next? I know you had mentioned about another video, another single coming out. What's next for Avalon Stone? What can your fans expect?
Yeah, so we're working on an album right now. Actually going to be in the studio on Sunday, doing a lot of song arrangements, doing a lot of songwriting, doing a lot of finishing up stuff.
Wow, whole album.
Whole album. Yeah. So it's has all of the songs that have already been released in it, and more. So really excited about that. It's called Chained. And it's basically the whole album concept is about being in a place where you're stuck. Doesn't matter like if it's a relationship or if it's a feeling or a state of mind or something like that, but kind of feeling chained to a certain state. So that's what the album's about. And I'm super excited for everyone to hear it because it's going to be my first, like our first body of work as a band, and mine as a person as well. So I'm really excited for people to hear it and for it to be out in the world and finished. And
so here again, once again, I'm going to kind of call you that old soul. So again, we live in a world, and I'm guilty of this, where I release singles, and most people release singles, and you had been releasing singles. Now you're doing so you do full videos, you do full albums. This is it's I guess somewhat rare in 2020.
Yeah. It's almost like we're influenced by the 90s or something.
I guess you are, I'm digging it. So full album. Now some of the songs, of course, are going to be the ones you have, but of course you're going to add more. Are you going to have 10, 12, 13? How many songs do you think will be on it?
Around 10? Maybe a little bit more, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a good amount.
Yeah.
So full album, Chain. Okay, and when do you think that might be coming out? Any idea?
It'll be out sometime this winter.
Oh, this winter, so early next year, maybe.
Yeah, early next week. Or not next week, next year.
Week, that's a lot. Yeah, you're gonna play it Sunday. You're gonna record. Sunday.
The whole thing.
Maybe early next year is safe.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic! What a great way to maybe end the year, a full album, start fresh next year. That's really exciting.
Okay. So we already have like half the next album written. We're super excited.
After this one, I love staying ahead of the game. I try to do that as well, just kind of keep things flowing. I try to stay ahead of the game. So, no, I appreciate that. So, tell everyone, where can they find you? I'm assuming social media, you're everywhere. Is that the thing?
I'm everywhere. You can find me at Avalon Stone Music. And if you want like a one-stop shop for everything, it's avalonstonemusic.com. And then you can find everything from there. All of my streaming platforms is just Avalon Stone. Yeah.
All right on. Yeah. So before we end it, final message to your fans, your audience. One last message.
One last message.
Profound. It's got to be profound.
Yeah. So I think the message that I try and send out into the world with my music is that, you know, it's normal and natural to have heavy feelings and go through hard things, but it doesn't have to prevent a good life from being had, or from even being empowered in those moments, which is kind of what I try to convey, where it's like, you know, a lot of my songs are about how challenging life can be a lot. And they're based around my own experiences as well. But then, you know, I get up on stage and I show everyone, like, look at me though, like I'm having a great time. And I think that I like to encourage others to believe that they can do that as well. Even through any hardships, there's still life to be had, and to keep pushing.
No, that's a fantastic message. And I will say, I enjoyed this so much. You have accomplished an incredible amount in a very short period of time. And my gut says you ain't even started yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you follow her, find her, because she may not be around here anymore. She may be traveling Europe or in the mountains of Spain. Who knows where she may be. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging with me, Michael Bate, right here on Blast Music 247 with Avalon Stone. Avalon, hang with me just for a minute, and we'll let everybody go. Thank you.